Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Pride and Prejudice. Chapter 6, Mr. Wickham's Appeal. While the rest of the party sat down to play cards, Wickham and Elizabeth talked. She was very eager to learn about his acquaintances with Mr. Darcy. I take it to Netherfield is not far from Meryton. Has Mr. Darcy been staying there? Mr. Wickham asked. About a month, replied Elizabeth. He is a man of very large property in Derbyshire, I understand. Yes, replied Wickham. His estate is an old one. I've been connecting with his family from my infancy. Elizabeth was stunned by this news. I find him very disagreeable, she said. He is not at all liked here. Everyone is disgusted with his pride. I cannot pretend to be sorry, said Wickham. The world is blinded by his fortune and importance, or frightened by his high and demanding manners. I hope your plans won't be affected by his being here, Elizabeth said. Oh no, it's not for me to be driven away by Darcy. If he wishes to avoid seeing me, we must go. We are not on friendly terms, and it always gives me pain to see him, Wickham said. Then he explained his reason. I was not meant for a military life. The church ought to have been my profession. I was brought up for the church, and I now should have been a most valuable place had it not been for Darcy, he said. His father, the late Mr. Darcy, bequeathed the best parish in his power. He was my godfather. He was always very kind to me. He meant to provide for me. When the position became available, it was given to another. Good heavens, cried Elizabeth. Why didn't you get a lawyer? It was an informal bequest. A man of honor could not have doubted the intention, but Mr. Darcy chose to doubt it. Mr. Wickham shrugged. That is quite shocking. He deserves to be publicly disgraced, announced Elizabeth angrily. Sometime or another he will be, but not by me. I cannot forget his father, so I will never defy or expose his son. Elizabeth honored him for such feelings and thought Wickham more handsome than ever. But what, she said after a pause, could his motive have been? I think his father's attachment to me must have irritated him. He hated the competition we were in, the preference paid to me. I did not expect him of such revenge. Such injustice as this, cried Elizabeth. After a few minutes' reflection, however, she continued, It is no wonder that Mr. Darcy's pride has made him unjust to you. He does have pride, agreed Wickham. Family pride, brotherly pride. What sort of a girl is Miss Darcy? Elizabeth inquired. I wish I could call her pleasant, but she is very much like her older brother, very proud. As a child, she was affectionate, Wickham said. She is now just a lovely girl of 16. She lives with a lady in London who supervises her education. Mr. Wickham's attention was diverted by Mr. Collins for a few moments. Then he turned and asked Elizabeth whether her cousin was acquainted with the family of de Burgh. Lady Catherine de Burgh, she replied, is his patroness. She has recently given him a parish. You do not know that Lady Catherine de Burgh and Lady Anne Darcy were sisters. She is Mr. Darcy's aunt, said Wickham. I never heard of her existence till yesterday, replied Elizabeth. Her daughter, Miss de Burgh, will inherit a very large fortune. It is believed that she and Darcy will marry and join two estates one day, said Wickham knowingly. This information made Elizabeth smile. Poor Miss Bingley's eager attempts to attract Darcy were all in vain. Elizabeth then bade Mr. Wickham goodbye. Once she left, she could think of nothing else but him. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.